Okay, so hello there. Oh, we're very zoomed in. No. Okay, sorry about that. Hello. So it's a new day. I know I'm wearing the same shirt, but I'm just gonna get dirty anyway, so it doesn't matter. Now, the neck has been drying, the glue has been drying, rather. The fretboard is on, and it's all looking good. And in today's video, we are gonna first off cut down and make this fretboard fit this neck all proper like, and then we are gonna mark out the frets. And we're gonna do a little bit of cutting just to make sure we have them marked out correctly and, you know, cut a little bit. But we're not gonna cut all the way, and we're not gonna install frets. And the reason why is because I need to radius the fretboard, but I also need to make up a inlay for the 12th. I was thinking, this is sort of the way I usually do it when I make my own guitars from scratch. That because I kind of, you should have your own thing sort of going, I suppose. But I kind of like the clean fretboard with nothing on it. That's sort of the way I like it. I think a Strat should look like a Strat, and it should be sort of a classic look. But when it comes to my own guitars, my own shape, I kind of don't want anything on the fretboard. I just want the side dots, which I actually never really use the side dots, but for playing and gigging and things like that. But they can be good to have. So we're gonna have that, or at least I'm gonna try to remember to put them in, because there are some guitars where I've forgotten to do it. Like, for example, the half acoustic or semi-acoustic Strat that I did not too long ago. I forgot to put in the side dots on that neck, actually. It's a little secret between the two of us, or 904 of us, depending on how many I actually look at these videos. I'm starting to ramble, I'm sorry. I'm a little tired from yesterday. But anyway, yeah. So we're just gonna do that, because I need to come up with a 12th fret. No, so I'm thinking I'll have an inlay on the 12th. I'll come up with a cute little design of something cool, and I'll cut it out of something, and I'll inlay it, and I'll try to make something that looks cool, and we'll have a clean, nice fretboard, but with a cool design on the 12th. I think that could be nice. But we need to sand and radius and make everything perfect first before that, or at least we need to get most of the radiusing done. We don't necessarily have to do all of it, because we're gonna have to radius again with the inlay on it, so we might as well. I'll have to think about it a little bit, is what I'm trying to say. There are some things I have to think about, so I'm not ready to do it. So yeah, we'll just do a cleaning up the sides here and getting them down, and then we'll do a sort of thing where we mark out the frets and everything. We also have to make sure we keep this here in check so we don't go overboard. But I don't think that's going to be a problem. So let's go and start this whole thing up. Alright, so here's the neck right now. So first off, I'm just going to take and remove most of this. I'm going to use the router to route it away, to get it clean, perfect, up to the neck sort of look. But I'm going to use my jigsaw to remove most of it first. So I need ear protection, and I need a pen. So something fat like this can help, because you can sort of hold it up against the neck like this. And as you can see, I'm not getting all the way to it when I do like that. So I'll remove something like that. And we have to keep one thing in mind, and I'm gonna actually take a bit of tape, just like this, just to help myself so I don't do anything stupid. Because here we have a round over here, and that's, you know, if I go too far here, we'll get a weird bowing effect, where it looks sort of like the neck is going like this, which is kind of weird. So somewhere around here, a bit before, I'll just stop the router and stop the cutting, and we'll do this last inch, or whatever you want to call it. We'll do the last bit by hand, basically is what I'm trying to say. So, ear protection on, get our jigsaw out, and plug it in. Start up the electricity, and we just go whoosh, wow. Can you see something? Yeah, I think you can. That. Flip it around and do the other side. There we go. Did a little bit too hard right here, so that looks really bad. That's not how we want it to look. Look at that, I totally messed up. Went a little bit too heavy. Hopefully we can still make this look nice, and yeah, it's gonna be on the wrong side as well. So we've really screwed ourselves up. That's a shame. I'm gonna have to sand and work on that area there to try to do something about that. I went too quickly there. Should have done things differently. But instead of getting angry or focusing on something else, because I've sort of gotten used to making 100 mistakes a day. I think I've made more mistakes than guitars, you know. So I'm just gonna ignore it for now and just go over to the next step. And in worst case scenario, I'll just have to put on binding or something on this neck, which I really don't want to do because I don't like binding. It's annoying. But sometimes, you know, that's what you gotta do. So let's take a look here. Yeah, there it is. Still looks like you can use it. Whew. So how you been doing? You been catching those pirates? Or freeing those maidens? Yeah, you have? Good, 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 good. Not trapped by any dragons? Just two? I don't know, well, it's not too bad. I should really not have things falling around like that. Let's see, come on, get in there. Oh, you visit your mom, that's good. Good, good, good. You should always do that. Say hi to her from me. Okay, now it's in place. Now we can just tighten this down. And make sure that you tighten it good, so you don't have any weird strangling away from you things going on. You know, you don't want weird things that will ruin your day. Okay, you don't want to make mistakes like this. Yeah, try to avoid that if you can. Okay, let's try to see if we can do this. Start off by clamping down the neck on one side and adjust this down. Oh, I'm silly, I am. I was being a little bit too quick. I need to flip it over. Right, which means that I have to clamp it here and do this in 2 parts. Always something. Always something. Okay. Flip it over, and hopefully we can make this silly thing I did here at least disappear somewhat. I don't think we can get rid of it completely. Yeah. Oh, that's so annoying. Why did I do that? Oh well. I suppose it's not guitar building unless you do a bunch of really stupid mistakes. It's like that YouTuber said, the K, what C or whatever his name is. Guitar players are stupid. I mean, he was referring to the weird thing about what's it called, the bad monkey or something? Okay. That looks alright. Not perfect. Especially not up here. Might have to take a break and think about that. I hate doing mistakes. So annoying. So annoying. Okay. Smooth that out a little bit. Get rid of some of those wrinkles. Right. Right. Okay. Let's put you over there. Unclamp this. And then let's see if we can plane that down. I think that might be the best. Here we have something we can use. Do we have something else that we can use? There, we have something we can use. I don't want to clamp the neck directly in here because it could mar the neck a little bit, and then I'd have to either steam it out or sand it out or do something. and I'd rather not have to do anything, you know? Which maybe to some of you it's like, why are you even building a guitar neck if you don't want to? But I want to build a guitar neck. I just don't want to have to deal with the unnecessary steps that might occur because I do things silly. Like, I'm not worried about this mar here, for example. I can fix it. I know I can. I'll come up with something. You know, I always do. Eventually I do. But it's annoying to have to do it. Because, you know, I was just going to do this guitar building for a little bit today, I was hoping. But now it's going to be the rest of the day. So tiny planer. And just get it down. Something like that. Yeah. That looks good. Now it's all flush. You can tell, because I need to move this anyway. Hopefully you can tell, like, the roundoverness here goes in, just like it's supposed to, but this hangs over. You have this edge. And we can round this over as well and make a little nice corner later if we want to. We'll see. Most likely we will do that, but it's not part of what I'm doing exactly right now. I'm just taking this off, getting it down, making it fit, making it look nice, making it all good. Just get it down. Being a little bit rough right now. That's alright. We have ways to go. I have done that mistake sometimes. If you wonder why I'm planing down so much, I could have cut and just left a mil or something. And instead I'm roughing down more than a mil. It's because I have done that mistake sometimes where I leave too much. I leave too little, and then I start planing, and then it doesn't look right because I get a little, almost like I'm half a mil or something in bow, so it doesn't continue in a straight line. It wobbles in a tiny bit, and that, if you can avoid that, try to avoid that, you know. And you can see that little wobble in there, at least I think, yeah. I can see it. So I'm gonna plane down. No, phew! Almost did it. Almost did it. It's not a big deal. It's just, you know, I don't want to. It's gonna annoy me to have to sand out marks. Just gonna see if I can take down a little bit. You know. Just gonna see, can I adjust this so that it takes just want to remove a tiny bit. Maybe I should sand that instead. Well, actually, what I should do is I should probably something like that. I know it's not completely gone. I can probably still see it, to be honest, but I think that's all right for now because I need to move on. And also, when I radius this, we're gonna get down a bit. I made this. I think I made this 6 mil if I remember correctly. Right? How thick of a fretboard are we talking here? This is a wait, what? Wait, did I make it 8? Why did I make it 8? Wait, what? Is it 8 all around, or am I crazy? I thought I planed this down to 5, 6, 7, 8. I made this 8. What am I worrying about? Oh my god. What am I worrying about? I'll plane the fretboard down and sand it down, and I'll make it good. Oh my god. Wait, I thought that I made it 6 mil and would have a 2 mil on the side. I made it 8. I have plenty of wiggle room to fuck up. That was a joke. No one laughed. Let's see here. Let's clamp this neck down so we don't have to hold it. Alright. Alright. Okay, let's start off by doing some measurements and establishing the center line on the fretboard. I'm sanding the pen on my belt sander. Just so you know, if you wonder what the sound was. Okay. Let's do it like that. Yes. Okay, let's see here. What is this? This is 56. 28 or something, right? Right, there we have the center line, I think. Or not the center line, but the marking on the end of the fretboard for the center line. Yeah, it lines up with the bottom one. And then let's do the same thing up here at some point. Right here, for example. Let's make it more. Dropping everything. Okay, this is 41 almost, a little bit over 41. So let's just go to 20 and see if we can split the diff. Because you kind of have to take the pencil's thickness into account. And so I'm just gonna just mark out that and then split that 2 in half. Which will give me that right there. Whew. Okay, so I have a mark here, which is half of that. And I have a mark there, which is half of that. They're so small dots. I don't know. I don't know. Can you see them? I don't think you can see them. But it's all right. You don't have to necessarily see them. Are these clamps big enough for the both of us? No, but yeah, I think so. That one can hold there. I like to use the clamp because it will. Then I can fiddle around here and adjust this one until it's perfect, and then I can fiddle around here and adjust this one. You know, I can just. And you need something that is long enough to go over the entire. Don't do the whole like using a tiny bit and then measure. Do everything in one go. Make sure everything is more than perfect. Oh, there, there. Like that, okay. Then take off the ruler and the ruler and the clamp that I was using. Can you see the line? Let me just zoom in a little bit real quick. Can you see the line there? Yeah, I hope you can see the line. It's right there. Alright, so I press this out, I get this little pin that sticks out that can help me measure, and I'll just push it up to the line. I'll try to run it along like this. No, wait, I can't do that. I'm silly. How silly. I'll measure at points. Here it goes up to the line. Here it still goes up to the line. I'll push it up here, and I'll check it again. Right, and you can be even more careful, and you can push it up to the line. If you feel like this is a little bit too sloppy for you, you can push it up to the line, make a little mark, and then you can push it up to that mark on the opposite side, and you can see it's perfect. You don't need to do this a lot, because if you do it like in 3 different places on the neck, and it makes sense on all places, then it really can't not be a perfect line, you know. And as long as you check and make sure you're measuring things the same way, and it's all good. So here is the center line, and it's all good. Right. Oh. Now comes the annoying, irritating part that some people think is fun. I'm just kidding, it is fun. This is probably the most rewarding part of it. If there is such a thing. I don't know. Anyway, here we have the neck and the fretboard and everything. And yeah, now we come to measuring out the frets. And there's a lot of ways you can do this. You can there are online calculators that are really good. You can use those. I don't remember what the page is called, so I can't tell you. But there are, like, you know, they will get you. You just tell them what scale length you want, and it will calculate it, and you can print it out and make a template, or you can just take the measurements and you can measure it out. And you just put your ruler down with 0 as your nut, and you have it on the center line like this, and then you just go, okay, that's my first, second, and so on, until you put all of the frets out there where they're supposed to be. Come on, stay still. You can do it a lot of ways. I'm gonna do it the way my mother taught me. No, I'm gonna do it the way that I've figured out is the simplest way, so that I can do things a little bit more I don't know what to call it. Actually, I think I'm going to move this neck back a little bit so that I have a little bit of an overhang. So I think that will help me in my next step. So something like that. Yeah. I have this thing right here that I bought from Crimson Guitar. It's the It's the only actual tool from Crimson Guitars that I like, to be honest. So, that's good. So, 25.5. The only thing that I don't like about it is that it's always the wrong way around. You know? Or actually, I mean, it is. I like to work this way, and I can't put down the scale length. You know? Because that's where my nut is, and that's where my 24th fret is. Doesn't make any sense. You know? It's very annoying. But if I flip it over like this, then I have my 24th fret there. So what I have to do, which I just forgot about, is I have to flip the neck over like this and work from the wrong side of the neck, which is really annoying. Maybe to some of you this is not a big deal. To me it's super frustrating. Actually, I'm gonna splooge. I'm gonna treat myself to some extra candy because I was gonna clamp down the ruler, but I'm gonna double-side tape it down instead, just because I need to. I need to have the ruler stay where I want it, and I need it to stay there until I am ready to not have it there. So I'll put that tape there. I'll hold my... This will basically just lie like that. And yeah, we'll take a couple of pieces of double-sided tape. Is this in the way for you to see what I'm doing? Well, I'll move it around in a bit. We'll see if we can get some better angles. I'm putting down a couple of pieces of tape. I'm not going to worry too much about how many I put down or anything like that. It's just to help me hold it in place. You can do this. You don't need to do it this way. There probably even are some better ways to do it without doing it like that. I have the fret ruler here, and I'm going to try to figure out. This is also a thing that is annoying. It says 25.5 there. Does that mean this scale? Or is this the 25 scale? You know? Super annoying. So I need to measure that. I measure the first from the nut. And this one, it is it longer than this? No, it's not. So this is what I want, because this is the 25.5, which is what I think I want. I could be wrong. I haven't actually decided what length, scale length I want, but I think I want this one. The next thing I need to do is I put this up here and I try to figure out where I want to put this, where I want to put down my frets. I hope you can see it. Can you see it? It feels like it's so annoying trying to film things. I hope you can see this, but basically here we have the center line and my neck, and the nut. If the nut is here, it's very far in, and you can't see this. Wait, let me. And down here, which you barely can see too, my 24th fret would be outside. You know, which, I mean, I don't know. Do I want 24 frets? Maybe I do. I have no idea. I haven't really decided. But if I put this up here, for example, and I give myself maybe a little bit of wiggle room for the 24th fret, the nut will be up here. And I feel like maybe that's a good idea. So, that's sort of, you have to place this. Obviously, you can go with some standard things, but you can also, you know, that's the challenge of this sort of thing, you know, because for example here's the 24th and I will have a little bit of wiggle room for it right there. Maybe I'll push it down a little bit more to like there maybe. I don't know. I'll put this clamp here if I can, which I don't think I can because it's not wide enough. At where my nut is. And my nut will be a bit too far into this scoop, I think, for me to like that. So I think I'll need to force it down a little bit more. But it would be weird to make a 23 dotted 23 scale fretted, I mean, neck. So I might not have a chance, you know. I don't want to put it too close to the edge, but I also don't want to. So I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to put it here, and I'll just mark this. And yeah, I'll mark this for now, like so, and then I'll take off the tape, and I will I'll clamp down the ruler, and I'll put a clamp on it and leave it for a minute or two to just press it in place, just to help myself out a little bit. Maybe I'll put a clamp on it as well if I find one. I'll take a quick look and see if I have something that is a little bit smaller. That can help me. I'm also going to go and drink something because I feel my throat is. So I'll put this on the center line, move it up to the center line, and I'll try to align it with the center line. My hands might be in the way right now. I'll lay it down on the center line. I'll double check it on the center line, on the sides, like so. That seems perfectly well. And I have these two little clamps. Are they good enough for this? Don't think they are. That's annoying because I like having small clamps that are not in the way. Alright, I'm back. I try to find the best angle to film this at. I don't know. Anyway, here's the center line. Here are the rulers, markers. You know, we'll just do this. We'll align this up here with the nut and creep up on it. I am using a triangle so that I know I'm getting 90 degrees from it. And I'll just mark out every fret like this. If you want to know if this is the best way to do it, or if this is like, you know, I'll just tell you that this is the fastest way to do this that I have. I mean, obviously, you know, CNC machines or something could potentially make a better, faster job of this, but that's not really what I'm doing here. I'm not into doing this with CNC machine because I don't have a CNC machine. It's like a conversation. I can't have that conversation with you because I don't know, you know. But there we go. It's not that bad. It's not like this will take too long. It's just a little bit of concentrated work. And I'm using a pen that has a very thin tip, and I'm just trying to do like, you have to use something that has a very thin tip, basically. There's no other way around it. Whew. And I double check everything, but I'm going to go over it again to make sure I'm not doing anything the wrong way. And I'm almost done now. There we go. And then I'll have to do that again with, I'm dropping everything, with the thickness of the nut, but I'll move this over like this and draw it out, and I'll fill it in. With just a little bit, so I know basically where the nut is going to be. So now I can remove these clamps. No, ooh, it was almost too fast. I need to just look down the neck like this to make sure nothing is wrong. And then I look down like this, and I can tell that they are all in the wrong. No, I'm just kidding. They're all where they need to be. So let's remove these two clamps and remove this. And since we're here, let's take a pen and at 12, which is here, there, we'll write 12, like so. We don't have to think about that then, because we already know. So let's pop this off, like so. Remove the tape from it. Come on. Come on. Come on. Ah. Damn, you really wanted to get on there. And yes, this is staying in the video. The point of these. Ah. The whole point of these videos is that I don't need to do a lot of editing. I can't speak. Yes. Yes. All right. So now I can just continue these lines. I'll line this up with the line I've already made, and I'll continue it across the neck. And I'm not gonna. That's not any correction or anything. Like I won't cut that. I'll only cut the nut line, which is the inner one, and then, I'll sort it out with the nut when we get to it a little bit later. It's just to show that I know where the nut is. So don't worry. Yeah. Yeah. So far, so good. And as long as you can line it up with the line we've already made and you make sure it really follows, you don't have to worry. It will look good. Mm-hmm. Almost done. And 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 more. And you can flip around and work from the other end, like I'm doing right now, as long as you keep track of everything and make sure you're not moving in a weird way. To keep track of that line that you have, and that you keep that you have established around. Something like that. Okay. Now I'm gonna double check everything by putting it in the 90 degree from the... I'm checking it like this. And so far so good. But then again, this side is, you know, the side we did with the central line, and we couldn't really, with the power of our tools, do it any differently. So yeah, it looks like all of them on this side are parallel and well drawn out. On the last one I'll flip it around and check the opposite direction. And then I'll go down the neck on this side as well, real quick. It doesn't take that long. Yeah, seems like these are also good. Let's check. Yeah. Yeah, good. All right. Let me just pull out some things and we'll establish the frets. But I'm gonna take a quick break. Alright, so here is the neck, and this is my thing that I use. As you've seen the other videos, you know about this. Basically, it has a center line drawn on it, which you can't see because it's under the neck, but it matches up with the center line on the actual neck, and then it has these side things here that clamps the neck into place. You can see the center line a little bit there, I think. Anyway, and then one side here is parallel to the center line. So these two will always be matching up. And that means that, for example, I can put a guide here and route out the center line for the truss rod. I'm forgetting my words. But I can also use it to help me cut out the frets, which is what we're going to do now. There's a bunch of ways you can do these sorts of things. Gotta have some coffee because I'm falling asleep. For example, if you have the fretboard on and you know it's perfectly on there, you can use the edge of that fretboard to do what I'm doing right now. It's just, I kind of like seeing it happening in front of me this way and not that way. I've tried both ways. I've done a lot of guitars this way, and I've done a lot of guitars that way. But the thing that is super important right now with this is that we make sure everything is perfect and everything is aligned correctly. Because if anything is a little bit crooked, it's not going to turn out great. You're gonna be noticed. If you see two lines next to each other like this, if one is just a little bit off, you can tell. It doesn't mean that it doesn't work. You can still intonate a guitar with crooked frets. There are ways to get around it. The frets aren't in the perfect place anyway, so but you will visually be able to tell. And this is one of those reasons why, for example, making a jig for this, or for example, having a saw, some sort of machine that can do this for you is very, very good, because then it will be repeated. And I don't need to explain this over and over again, but you should think about how you do this. Anyway, I'm going to do it this way. At some point I would like to really get into it and build a really nice jig that will let me do this a lot faster, but I don't do that much frets and guitar things at the moment, so it's a little bit hard to justify spending the time doing it. But maybe now that, you know, I have a YouTube channel and that there might be someone who'd like to see me do something like that, maybe that could be the justification for doing it. Anyway, what I can do is I can take this, because it's perfect 90 degrees, it should line up with the frets like this. And as you probably, I don't know, can you see? It does. And since I'm left-handed, I like to work from the opposite side, but I can't really put the camera here because there's a thing here in the way. Now, what I use is this knife. I have two of this knife, and what it is a one beveled knife. I'll try to show it to you, see if I can get some focus. As you can probably tell, it's just one bevel. So one side is perfectly flat, so if I put it up against something like this block here, it will cut exactly at where the edge is. And then I have another one that is mirrored, so the bevel is on the opposite side. And I'll probably use this for that, but maybe down here, by the last frets, I might have to switch around and go the other way. And so now I'm just going to put this down like so. I'll move up to where the nut is. I'll make sure I'm perfectly aligned, and I'll score this like so. And then I'll move to the first fret, and I'll score that too. And then the next fret, and I'll score that too. And I'll move up to the next fret as well. And I'll score that too. And I just go down the neck like this. I can move it around a little bit. And this is a way for me to also double check it, because obviously it will be parallel, but it will also tell me if it's not parallel. So I can basically see if all my math is right, or all my measuring rather, that I've already done. And as you probably can tell, since I'm not speeding this up or anything, or at least I hope you can tell. I mean, obviously it takes longer this time for me to do it because I'm talking to you and I'm going over what I'm doing, and I'm trying to make it make a little bit more sense maybe than it needs to do when I'm doing it for myself. But as you can probably tell, it doesn't take that long. I'm almost at the 12th, so I'm almost halfway already, and we've been filming for 6 minutes. I mean, now I'm doing the 12th right here. And yeah. And it's actually a really nice way of doing it. If you want to know why I'm scoring it, it's two reasons. The first one is there is no pen that has a finer point than a knife, and especially a knife that is made to have a fine point. And the next thing is the scored wood will help guide my saw. So that's all good. And I'm going to go through these again and score them once more, just to make sure I really get them. And we'll flip this around, and we'll do it from the opposite side again, just to alright, and then I do have to flip this one over as well. Almost made a big error there. As long as I make sure everything stays on the line where I want it, I don't have to worry about things like in what order I cut this. So, because sometimes you have to think about the thickness of the blade, or the, you know, so that if you cut on this side and then you flip it over and cut on the other side, you mess everything up because you haven't thought of the thickness. But since I drew everything out and everything is, well, I'm just filling in the line basically. I'm not cutting on the thicker side of something or anything like that. I basically just have to run down this neck. I don't have to worry about anything. And yeah. So there we go. And now I'll take a quick break, have a little bit of coffee. I'll flip the neck back over like this and zoom out for you. There we go. Coffee. Just so I don't die. Let's see. I think it was this one we made. Actually, why did I flip this over? I should remember from when we measured everything out that the neck needs to go this way. And I'm just gonna take a quick look and see. Yeah, everything lines up nicely. I'll move it in a bit and try to hold it straight just to see. Yeah, and then on the opposite side as well. Yeah, everything looks good. If for some reason you've followed this procedure exactly the way I've done it, and you're at this stage and you're noticing that everything is wrong and you've scored it, what you need to do is sand away. You haven't, unless you've been really brutal with your knife and really been like going back and forth like a crazy person, you really haven't scored that deep. So you should only have to like sand it or stick it through the planer and remove 1/3 of a mil or something. It should be really easy to remove all these score lines so you can redo your work. If you notice that things are not lining up correctly, you can hold this up to the center line like this and check that everything is nice, and then just follow like this all the way out. And you should see, and all the way in from the center line to the other side, and like so, and see that everything is aligning if you're unsure. Okay, sure, yeah, great. Yeah, let's take this out. And there we have the neck. Very good, very good, very good. Okay. Let's see, do we have something straight we can use? I want to make a little tiny, there's going to be a tool I make at some point, a tiny little helper for scoring this process. So yeah, because I have an idea for a tool that I'll make, but I need my planer, I need to fix my plane first, so it won't be for this, because I think that if I start messing with my planer, I'm not gonna get anything done, because there's something wrong with it. Yeah, it broke again, as I probably told you if you're keeping track. It broke when I planed, and then it broke again when I replaned. So there is something more serious about it. Anyway, it's not important. Here is my fret saw that I've made. I go back and forth between different tools and what I'm using, but I like this one that I've made. I have, basically what I did was I took a metal saw. What's the English name of this tool? I don't know. This one, hacksaw I think it's called or something. It's not the Swedish name, but who cares? It's not even the Jamaican name either. I took one of these blades, I sanded it down and I made it straight, and I I reshaped its thickness to be the same thickness as the fret wire that I use, because I bought fret wire for 60 guitars. Believe it or not, I thought people wanted guitars a lot more than they seemed to. So yeah, now I can basically just line this up here. I'll try to zoom in a little bit so maybe you can actually see something. We'll see how many of these I film, because it is a little bit annoying. And I can basically just, since I have the line, I can I'll clamp it down. At least clamp it down a little. You can basically very easily follow that. And basically what I did was I made my own like Japanese saw, basically. But the only thing that sticks out is the amount that I need to cut down. So I don't have to measure anything or think about it. I can just cut down to where the blade goes into this sleeve. And it's just a piece of metal that I bent over to be a sleeve. It's not something special. I've done videos on this before. If you look at my Guitar Builder's Life Hack, which I don't know, people don't seem to like to see look at those videos, but you will be surprised by how much good you'll find there. Maybe, I don't know if you will be surprised. Maybe it's all stupid. No. No. Now I'm just moving over to the next fret. And I felt like that first one was a little bit hard to cut. So I'm going to recut with my razor blade the next one, just a little bit. As you can probably tell, this also, I mean, like, unless you're having issues where things are not going as you want them to, and this saw is not perfect, you know, but I didn't it doesn't matter that it's not perfect, is what I'm trying to say, because or it does matter. What is it I'm trying to say? What I'm trying to say is that I don't know what I'm trying to say. Sorry. I had some sort of point there. This saw isn't perfect, but it's doing the job I want it to do, and it's a little bit messy to work. I'm not messy to work with. That's not the right word, because it's not doing the job right. I'm rambling. Yes, it's the thing that I don't like about it. You know, to not make it seem like I make perfect things and can't take criticism. If I criticize my own work, that's what I'm trying to tell you. The thing I don't like is that it very easily binds, and it's probably why. The reason is probably because it needs to have a angle instead of being completely flat. And it probably should be able to cut deeper than the fret tang depthness. But that defeats the purpose of why I made it. And so there is a sort of give and take, you know? But it's not perfect. but you have to work around the issues of the tool, is what I'm trying to tell you. I don't know if that made any sense. It doesn't really seem like it makes sense to me. I'm gonna try to I don't know, it's something about the camera being on that makes me want to talk, but then I don't have anything to talk about. Can you see the next fret? Yeah, that's like even more in focus. It's a little bit hard to get started, and you have to be extra careful in the beginning, because obviously the work you do will affect the rest of the guiding. So make sure you've scored it, and make sure you are actually following the score so the blade isn't wobbling around, because if you start cutting in the wrong place, it's very hard to realign. I'm gonna put down another clamp. I feel like it's a little wobbly like this, and it's making it a little bit annoying for me. And it's not like I need to make it hard for myself. Something like that. It's all good. Also, a thing that is good about this, that is probably the real selling point of it, is if you buy a pack of replacement blade for your hacksaw or whatever it's called, you get like 20 blades in a pack, or whatever you get. Depends on what you're buying, of course. And you can make a lot of these. It's not hard to make. But if you buy excuse me, if you buy it, the tool from some sort of luthier shop, you buy one of those Japanese saw things that has been you know, maybe a little bit modified or something. Sometimes it's just straight up you're buying a tool, and because where you buy it, it costs extra. But you know, if you buy one of those, you're most likely gonna spend a lot more money on it than if you make my tool. Because I mean, this cost me, it didn't even cost me like €1 to make. I mean, like, the blades are not that expensive, and the rest of it is just junk that I had laying around. So you probably can tell, like, there's a hole here. I have this weird zigzag seam. I think this was like a bookshelf. I don't know. I know maybe you can see that it looks a little bit rough and things like that, but again, this whole thing needs to come down, and we need to radius it, and we need to make it look better. Anyway, so don't worry. And the reason why we haven't done that yet is because we need to make an inlay. It's easier to do an inlay on something flat than on something that has been radiused. And we also need to pick a radius, which I haven't done yet. If this was being built live, maybe we could have an argument over what radius is the best. You guys could fight in the comments or something, you know? You know, and everyone could get really offended, because there are people who like something that is different than what they like, and they think that means we can't be friends. You know, could be great. And yes, I'm being sarcastic, if you couldn't tell. So yeah, I just have to go back and forth and drop things. Ugh. I don't know what I'm doing. One thing that if you plan on making this, when you're cutting this, if you put a lot of force, then it like binds up and it becomes stiff and hard to work with. But if you sort of just go easy, then it's not that bad. Yeah. Let's move the camera down a little bit. Is that the last one I cut? Yeah, it is. It's in frame, right? Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna turn on the fan because it's really getting warm. And maybe I don't know. I feel like I've done a couple of frets now. I've been filming for 8 minutes apparently. So, I mean, that's not that bad. I mean, obviously all of these videos are pre-recorded, but I would really appreciate if you guys let me know if you think I'm overdoing it. I mean, I don't know if you need to see me just do the actual cutting. Obviously I'm not doing a lot of editing on these videos because I'm kind of fed up with the editing at the moment, and I need a break from, you know, from doing that. So I don't know what I'm trying to say. I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm insecure about if you need 8 minutes of seeing me do this. But then again, you know, I don't, like, I've done this, I've already seen it. For me it's obvious what it is I'm doing. I don't know if it is for you. I'm almost out of frame, so I think I'm gonna pause the video making after cutting this fret, because then you've seen me cut a couple of frets. And maybe that's good enough for now. Something like that. Next fret is there and it's out of frame. So, see you in a bit. Whew. Okay, so I want to show you something that I just realized that I could do that it makes it a little bit easier on me. And that is I can take a knife and I can line it up with the scoring that I already did, and to deepen the scoring I can basically just place it into that score and tap it in. Now I have securely secured it, if that makes any sense. No, but I've punched that score, and I can with a knife just score it, because the blade is straight and everything, so you don't have to freak out about it. And then I can just come in here. I just thought it was an interesting thing to test and see what happens. Ah. It's a good thing the fretboard isn't finalized, because then I would have to be more careful. And we are going to have to cut this a couple of more times, obviously, because the fretboard isn't finalized. And as you can maybe see, like up here for example, I have made a little bit of a mistake, got a little bit of wibble in my cutting, but it's okay because I'm planning on sanding down this pretty far or something. We'll see how much. Obviously I need to put in the radius, but beyond that I don't know. I hope that tapping isn't hurting your ears too much. Just a little. I'm kidding. I'll come back to you when I'm down at the last fret, because as you can see, that one will be a yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. I'm also considering maybe trying to make some sort of little insert here, that maybe I can either put a magnet in or something that holds it in place, or maybe a screw or something, I don't know, but something to cover up the truss rod, you know, like a tiny little truss rod cover, and we'll see. I'll be back when I've cut all the way down there, so give me a minute or two. Alright, so I've cut all frets, or all slots, rather. The frets will not go in this video, as I've said before. We have this one, and this one is tricky, because it's both, you know, a piece of wood that is hanging over, and a piece of wood that has a very thin edge right here. And so I kind of like the idea of punching, but I'm a little bit scared of doing it on this last fret, just because I can actually break off this entire piece. I mean, it is 8 millimeters thick and it's a pretty hard wood, but you know, it's just so I'm thinking, let's go slow, let's try to be careful, let's try to be responsible adults. I don't know what I'm saying. Let's just try to then we'll have to think about the fret when we push it in as well. Obviously, it will be a little bit different then, because we will have a thinner piece of wood, but we will also have, you know, beveled the edges of the wood so that the fret will go in easier. But yeah. Right, there we have it. And if I get some fret, we can have a free look at this. So here is my fret wire, and if I put it there, obviously I'm not going to like press it in because I don't think it's a good idea. But as you can see, there's a tiny amount of wood on that side, but I think it will look nice. It will also help if I decide to make a little plug here that is wood, then the edge where the grain doesn't align will fade away a little bit. I'm going to try to give you a better angle. So let's see here. If I put this in here, can you see how that's like, I have that edge there, it almost disappears. I think that could look cool, you know, like you're not playing here anyway, you're playing here, so, you know, it won't affect playing or anything like that. Okay, so here is the neck right now. We have a headstock, we have the entire neck, and we have all the frets basically ready to go. Obviously we need to sand it and all of that, but first I need to do a little bit of other things to the neck before we get there. First thing I want to do is I want to route a couple of things in the body. I think that's what I'm going to do next. Yeah, I think next video, I think, is going to be routing the neck pocket. so that we make sure the neck fits and aligns and everything looks good. And then after that, I think I'll start working on the 12th fret, the idea that I'm gonna have there, whatever it is, I don't know. But I need to, like, I don't know, Google or look around, try to get inspired, because I have no idea what I want at this moment. But I don't think you need to see me sitting like this. Yes. I could be wrong, but yeah. So while I'm doing that in the background, I'll also route the cavities for the 3 pickups that we're gonna have, which means that we are most likely, before we do that, because I feel like maybe we should route all 3 at the same time and do a video of routing that. I think I'll make a video where I make the template for routing the bridge pickup, because it's slanted and I need to make a specialized one-time use only cavity. I need to make a template for that cavity, basically. And so I think that making that could be a good video. So yeah, but anyway, that's the end of this video. Yeah, there isn't anything now. Let's jump into the Q&A and see if you guys had anything interesting to ask me about, and we'll see what happens. Maybe you have questions, maybe you don't, but yeah, bye. It's time for the Q&A. Yeah. So I didn't actually get any questions for today's Q&A part. I have a lot of videos in this series, but I don't have a lot of questions. So I hope some of you are gonna take the opportunity to chime in. I don't know if maybe I've not been super clear on the fact that I'm doing a Q&A to these videos and that you can talk to me. Yeah, we just hit 2,600 subscribers. And so I really want to just say thank you all so much for that. It's really cool. Yeah, thank you. I hope we can hit 3,000. That would be awesome if we could do that before the end of the year. I don't think it's gonna happen because it's going kind of slow, but in comparison to other times, I mean, sometimes I've had 100 subscribers in a month. And sometimes it's 10 subscribers in a month. So, but either way, I'm super happy to see that it's happening. So yeah, and since I'm doing this Q&A part just before the video goes live, I was able to take the moment here now and add this little thank you in at the end. So I thought I might as well do that. Yeah. Next video, I wrote it down here, is routing the neck pocket, you know, where the neck goes into the body. So yeah, I was thinking I'd tell you, so if you want to ask any questions about the neck pocket routing, you can do it in the comments below, and we'll see, maybe I should switch over the whole Q&A thing from Instagram over to here on YouTube. I don't know. But yeah, next video, routing the neck pocket, and maybe you guys, you'll have a little bit of time to ask questions. So yeah, we'll see. The video will be live on Monday, you know, standard European time or whatever. So if you're in America, it will still be Sunday when you watch that video. But yeah, I'm gonna go sand the guitar. I have another guitar coming, and it needs some sanding. But I don't think I'll finish that this year. It's too much left to do on it. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys hopefully in the comments below. And thanks so much for watching, and thanks so much to everyone who subscribed. It really means a lot to me to see that all this effort that I put in is slowly but surely being worthwhile. So yeah, yeah. Until next time, stay awesome and cool, and go and build a guitar and play music and have fun. Yeah. I'll see you in the next video, okay? Bye-bye.